Hey, so we've all met someone who turned out to be gay, right? So it's just their sexual preference. More gay couples are coming out, getting married, and attempting to start a family through adoption. According to ACLU, 21 states have granted second parent adoptions to gay couples. That ensures that their children can enjoy the benefits of having two legal parents, especially if one of the parents dies or becomes incapacitated. These agencies treat gay couples like they are incapable of raising a child from adoption or foster care. They deserve as much of a right to adopt or foster a child as a heterosexual couple would. 500,000 children are in foster care. 100,000 children are in need of being adopted. That number is only going to grow. ACLU states the United States is facing a shortage of adoptive and foster parents. As a result, hundreds of thousands of children in this country are without permanent homes. In Arkansas, for example, the foster care system does such a poor job of caring for their children that it has been placed under court supervision. How many children would have a permanent home if these agencies would make it easier for these same-sex couples to adopt and foster children? Many more kids and couples would be happier. Adoption rates would raise. These couples just want to adopt. It doesn't matter what the race is. They just want to fulfill their dreams of parenthood together. They've had enough for most. It's been enough for most couples to come out to the public, be open about their sexuality. Why make the process of adoption harder for them as well? If they can adopt an animal or foster an animal, then why is it so hard for them to adopt a child? It shouldn't be that hard. According to Lifelong Adoptions, of the 594,000 same-sex couples households, 115,000 have children. 2 million LGBT people are interested in adopting. That they're raising 4% of all adopted children in the U.S. Only 19% of same-sex households have been granted the opportunity of adoption. More children would be adopted or fostered if the U.S. made it easier for these same-sex couples. There's a total of 600,000 children in need of being adopted or fostered. 2 million estimated LGBT couples are interested in adopting. That's more couples than children. If we could make it easier for these couples to adopt in all the states, then only 21 of the states, we have a lower percentage of children in the state foster care systems and a higher percentage of successful adoptions. These couples may be same-sex, but they are willing to adopt any child despite the racial status. Science Daily says that researchers interviewed 41 white parents from northeastern U.S. When it came to adopting domestically, a majority of the children were white. 18 parents specifically said that they didn't want a black child because they were different, both physically and culturally. Heterosexual couples are way too biased towards the race of the child. Children of different racial and cultural backgrounds are not being adopted. They did not because they didn't fit their racial and cultural preferences. This century is all about change. Everything is changing, and for the better. Many people don't accept that girls can like girls, guys can like guys, men can want to be women, and women can want to be men. It's a time of change. We can't be stuck living in the past. Think back to when blacks and whites were segregated. Is it really necessary to segregate what types of couples can adopt based on their sexuality too? Is exposing a child to a non-heterosexual couple of parents such a bad thing? Children are raised to look down upon couples who aren't heterosexual. It needs to come to a stop. They need to be taught that it's perfectly okay to not be straight. They can't be raised in fear that they will not be accepted by society for their sexual preference. 42% of the 50 states have second parent adoptions open for the same-sex couples. Imagine what could happen if the other 29 states opened up second parent adoption for these couples. It would give them a happier life, having a permanent home and family, rather than feeling unwanted in foster care. I think it would open up the opportunity for these children to grow up and be around a true environment of change. CNN informed that the House of Appropriations Committee passed an amendment back in July of 2018 that, if implemented, would allow adoption agencies to refuse gay couples based on their moral and religious beliefs. Is this really fair to those couples who have diversified moral and/or religious beliefs? Daniela Diaz from CNN said that the amendment, which was introduced by Representative Robert Aderholt of Alabama, would allow child welfare providers to decline to provide a service that conflicts with its sincerely held religious beliefs or moral convictions. Because of this, the amendment would allow more religious organizations to operate child welfare agencies. The reason for this is because these organizations choose not to place children with same-sex couples. The amendment he introduced seeks to prevent these state governments from discriminating against child welfare providers that decline to provide a service that conflicts with its sincerely held religious beliefs or moral convictions. This amendment could also have consequences for the LGBTQ-friendly states. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services says that it would have to withhold 15% of the federal funds. Progressive Democrats in the House are speaking out against the amendment, saying it would deny same-sex couples the right to adopt. Without allowing these couples to adopt, it would be costing the federal government more money each and every year. This is unfair treatment toward these same-sex couples that want to adopt. Religious belief does not define the happiness of a child. A child can choose what they want to believe in religiously. Religious status of a same-sex couple does not prevent a child from being adopted. Would it be adopted if a heterosexual couple with the same morals and religious beliefs were to adopt a child? No. They would not be prevented from adopting. People that control these agencies and systems fear the change of children having two mothers or two fathers. I believe that it can make children more appreciative of the changes in society and being able to have a permanent home because of this. Gay adoption should not be made difficult. It shouldn't be more difficult than it is for heterosexual couples. It doesn't matter about the racial status, religious beliefs, sexual orientation, or anything of a same-sex couple compared to a heterosexual couple. What matters is giving these children a permanent home to be happy in. So I say yes to making gay adoption just as easy as it is for a heterosexual couple. It's time for a change.